This week on the CoMurderOlogical Mystery Report. Who done it?
Frankie, you're on the radio.
Lottery in San Francisco, California, San Jose, and Oakland,
Woo!
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not. There it is.
Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, whenever, Kamloops. I'm not sure if and when we're being broadcast yet on CFBX, but hello to you from Joey Only here in the Caribou. I'm up here in Wells, British Columbia, and this is the CoMurderOlogical Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals CoMurderology. Episode 98 for the day of February 23rd, 2023. And I'm here with the normal panel of CoMurderologists. As usual, we got Frankie McDonald, the star of the show out in Sydney, Nova Scotia. He is the man, and we'll be talking to him first in just a minute. We also got Brandon Houck. He's in Brooks, Alberta. He's the big guy at 105.7 Real Country Radio. And this week he's home and not in the studio. So we actually get Brandon on sort of a Brandon wavelength. We got two Frankies tonight. Frankie Corcoran's back with us. He's down there in Miramichi, New Brunswick. We'll be talking to him. Imogen Cookie Bailey, of course. She's done some great work for the show, and we're going to be asking her about that. But she's also on the cover of two magazines. She's now a Paris magazine Paris model magazine of modeling, a Paris fashion magazine model cover girl.
I weep for you, Joey. I weep for you.
What I'm trying to say is she's really pretty, and everyone knows it, even the friggin' people in France. How's that? Weep for me. Weep for yourself. Yeah, you're the cover girl. Okay. And then we got Hilden McDonaldson. He's the cover boy in Grassy Plains. We got everybody here. And the thing is, we all got to up our game because soon we're going to be a TV show. And so that means most of us have great faces for radio. Imogen doesn't have to work too much on her background. They say she's fine. But when we become a TV show, we're going to have to change our lighting, improve our faces. The plastic surgery's booked. I'll get the nose fixed, I promise, in time for TV. We got to look good. We're going to be a TV show, everybody. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far?
Frankie! I'm doing great so far. Mozambique is getting hit by Tropical Cyclone Freddy, bringing a lot of power lines down, bringing a lot of power lines, staff and tree branches and telephone poles in half, bringing a lot of flooding from Tropical Cyclone Freddy. It's hitting parts of South Africa. It's hitting Mozambique. It's hitting parts of Zimbabwe and things like this, and parts of Botswana. It's just hitting Madagascar on Wednesday. Tropical Cyclone Freddy crossed all the way from Indonesia, all the way to Mozambique, Africa. Went all across the ocean from Indonesia to Mozambique. That's a long way.
And the storm is as big as Canada, they said. Is that true?
Yes. And Los Angeles is getting a lot of rain tomorrow because the cold air is going all the way down to Los Angeles. Even Mexico's getting it, like Baja California. They're bringing snow up in the mountains, like Victorville, California, or north of Los Angeles, up in the mountains, where to bring snow there. They're going to bring so much rain to Los Angeles tomorrow. This is a spot where I do Gary Dino show, Boo Zoom on Saturday nights. That's the spot where I do it on Gary Dino show.
Out walking around in Sydney, Nova Scotia tonight, Frankie. Yeah. What's the weather like in Sydney?
Right now, it's cold outside, but it's a little windy on down Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. This is Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Here it is. And I'm showing you guys Charlotte Street. Here it is. Total solar eclipse taking place Sydney, Nova Scotia, Monday, April 8th, 2024. All you guys are coming to Sydney.
We are, and we're going to broadcast it on TV, I'm sure. We're going to make the coolest meteorological report episode ever when we're all in Sydney, Frankie.
And did you hear about this? Because total solar eclipse taking place in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. It's cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia, bringing a lot of snow in Montreal and Toronto, and Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana. Oregon had snow. Brian told me that he had so much snow in Portland, Oregon.
All right, it's about 10 minutes after 8. We're here in the backyard, as you can see right there. About 6 inches of snow here in 6 hours. Still just coming down like crazy.
I saw that, like a foot of snow at the airport, he said, in Portland. Frankie, So there was a big bad earthquake in Turkey, and there's been another one this week. What's happened there? The houses that seem to have stood up until this point, many of them fell down, and more people are dead, missing.
It's really bad in Turkey. It's a fault line. Caused a lot of damages to buildings and things like this. A lot of people all the way in Turkey watch my video.
Yeah, that's true. I heard about that. What's going on in Russia this week with that cold? I see eastern half of Russia is very cold.
It's going to gradually warm up in the month of March.
And what about in Ukraine this week? What's the weather doing there where the war is happening?
It's getting cold. It's getting cold. It's cold out there right now.
It's cold in Ukraine right now. Frankie, what's going on in Australia?
Right now, they're bringing warm weather in Australia. Right now, their fall starts next month. In New Zealand, they're getting more warm weather and lots of showers and things like this. And it's hot weather in Western Australia. It's summertime there right now.
What's going on in outer space, Frankie? Any space news?
Oh my God, the aliens are here.
What's that noise?
Sounds like a flying saucer is coming. There's dozens of aliens coming from planet Sedna, Eris, Ceres, and Quawar. A lot of asteroids and things like this. I got something else to say. It's very hot in Florida today.
Yeah, I saw that there's record temperatures in the south half of the United States and for heat, and then record temperatures in the north half of North America. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of being in bed with some of my girlfriends. It's like, I'm super hot and she's freezing cold. That's what North America is like right now. It's like,
That is a disturbing analogy. Thank you. Thank you again.
And I found that Trey Campbell's coming to Sydney next year for Total Solar Eclipse. Trey Campbell, Joey Only, Imogen, Brandon, you're coming to Sydney.
we will. And hopefully the weather will be good. Hopefully, and I'll behave too.
Base Guy Show got a new computer. Base Guy got a new computer already because somebody from Indonesia donated money to Base Guy Show's GoFundMe and for the Base Guy Show for his new computer. Base Guy finally get it. His mission is accomplished.
Hey, Frankie, and today I sent the money for my new computer thanks to, and we have a sponsor that we're not ready to really go with yet, but I'll still mention anyways. Saddle Mountain Garlic Farms here in British Columbia has ponied up $1,000 for me to go get the computer I need to make this show a TV show. So we're growing, we're getting there. So that's good. People are helping, and they see that. And you know what's going to happen at Sydney, Nova Scotia on the day of the big eclipse is that all our podcasts are going to have a big fight to see who's the best podcast. And Gary and Dean are going to win because those guys are tough.
What about that other guy, Jason Marshall? We don't have cookies. Jamie Clump, Kinds of Clump podcast. Imogen, did you talk to Jamie Clump today?
You know I did, Frankie. You were with me. Like,
Is he tough?
I went on the Kids and Clump podcast with Frankie earlier today. Frankie and I had a conversation on the show. So thank you for checking in, buddy. Yes, that's what I did today.
Do you think Kins and Clump would beat us? Like, I think Gary and Dino are the leading.
Gary and Dino, Kins and Clumps, and your podcast are coming to Sydney. The Base Guy Show is coming to Sydney next year.
I think maybe we should try to have a soccer game or something instead of a fight, because even then, I'm pretty sure Gary and Dino would give us a pretty good run. Those guys are tough.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it was okay. If we're doing like a podcast death match, I don't want to go against Gary and Dino.
No, I mean, you and I are pretty tough, but we'd have Brandon on our side, which is
what
huge.
About Jason Marshall? We don't have cookies.
To be fair, Brandon would make an excellent human shield. So.
What about Roger the Wild Child Show? He's coming down too. And Compound Media guys are coming down.
We'll have to use Brandon Houck's ability to run really fast somehow to our advantage. Hilding, he might be pretty tough. He's a cowboy. I mean, how many cows have you punched?
Oh, I've done a few already.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be the guy who could tame down a wild horse for when my buddies would have a horse. I'd take off on him. I'd go ride it down, but that was years ago.
I usually have a question regarding a Sharknado in some sort of terrain, but I think I'm going to stick with the whole, what's going on Mars right now? What kind of weather is Mars experiencing at the moment, Frankie?
And another set of aliens coming from Andromeda Galaxy. Mars is getting really, really, really bad sandstorms.
Okay, now that is going to roll into a question regarding a Sharknado in a sandstorm. Now, at the current wind speed, how many full-size megalodon sharks would Mars be able to carry with one gust?
A lot.
Lighter gravity there. Yeah. I mean, the gravity's 1/6 of the Earth's gravity, right? So you can't imagine how many megalodons could be carried in an Earth's setting. What do you think, Frankie?
That means that the Earth setting and Mars setting are different. That means Mars winds is more powerful than Earth's.
That's right. One gust on Mars will send a lot more shrapnel and debris way farther than that same volume of force for the same gust on Earth. Decent gust of wind can hurl a whole flock of eggs. It'd be great. Whip them into the side of a cliff or off a cliff, throw them at a village.
Frankie, if there was a large pile of shark bones that got picked up by a tornado, could it still be called a sharknado?
Yes.
So they don't have to be alive to be sharknado.
They don't have to be alive to be Sharknado.
Okay.
Just
we're getting to the bottom.
Deconstructing the elements that comprise a sharknado. It's important to have this information. So it doesn't have to be live sharks. It can just be shark pieces, bones, teeth, skeletons.
Frankie, what YouTube videos you make this week?
I did a Mozambique tropical cyclone video. People all the way in Botswana, South Africa, and Mozambique are watching my videos. This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Tropical Cyclone Freddy's headed towards Mozambique on Friday, February 24th, 2023. It's going to bring up to 300 millimeters of rain or more in some places of Mozambique. It's going to bring a lot of rain. Winds are going to be very strong. It's going to cause power outages, bring down power lines and separate tree branches half in Mozambique and parts of Botswana. It's going to head towards South Africa as well, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, and parts of South Africa. Is going to bring Tropical Cyclone Freddy. It's going to bring mudslides, landslides. It's going to bring really bad, dangerous winds that could bring down power lines, knocking off power, snapping tree branches, happen, snapping telephone poles, happen. Mozambique, there'll be big waves crashing on beaches, shores. Said to Tropical Cyclone Freddy is coming from Madagascar, Africa. It's headed right for Mozambique and South Africa on Friday, February 24th, 2023. It's going to bring heavy downpours, wind-driven rain, sideways rain. Have your boats ready if you get a lot of flood in Mozambique. Winds are going to be so strong in Mozambique. And the cyclone's going to strike Mozambique on Friday, February 24th, 2023 in Mozambique time zone. People in Mozambique, be prepared. Have your rubber raincoats ready when you go outside. Wear your regular rubber raincoats to keep you dry. Make sure to stay away from the beaches and don't go near shores. When the trust cyclone gets bad, get inside your house so keep you safe. Make sure you have your medical kits, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, extra batteries, generators, battery operator lanterns, and bottled water ready. So, because winds are going to be so strong, there'll be a lot of rain and wind in Mozambique and parts of South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. If you have anybody living in Mozambique, be prepared for Tropical Cyclone Freddy on Friday, February 24, 2023. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in Tropical Cyclone. Stay dry, be safe.
Thank you, everybody, for subscribing to Joey on the Caribbean Weather Dude, where you can see the show, and you can also hear us on C for 88.7 FM in Prince George Saturday mornings, and it repeats on Tuesdays. You can hear us on CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg. Of course, you can hear us maybe at CFBX Kamloops, and soon you're going to be seeing us on cable TV. More about that in a few minutes, but first we need to get to the Western Canada weatherman himself.
Another bitterly beautiful day today. Temperatures around minus 26. Wind chill at about minus 34. Oh, I feel like I'm in the Arctic. But I'm not. I'm in southern Alberta. Look at this. A couple more cold days ahead. Bundle up.
Brandon Hauk, who today had his nose frozen solid, and I said that he should do an experiment where if he blows his nose out to see, because it's so cold, to see if his snot turns to snow before it hits the ground. Did you try this?
I actually chickened out and went inside. So I tried to do it inside and it all came out as water. So I know that's a great visual for everybody. But anyways.
I don't mind it. It's pretty good. I mean, especially for radio, we have to try to give these visuals. It's minus 23 right now in Wells tonight. I'm expecting it to go down to 27 or 28, maybe 29. This is the worst of it for us. How bad's it been in the prairies? How bad's Winnipeg got it? How bad you got it?
Oh, well, not as bad as this December cold front, but our cold Arctic air mass that we had. However, it's been, a couple of fairly cold days. We had the system move through Monday night to Tuesday. It dropped a significant amount of snow. Yeah, the Arctic high to the north. We had the low pressure system develop in Montana. And whenever that happens, whenever you get low pressure in Montana, you get the circulation around the high pressure in the Northwest Territories and the circulation around the low pressure in Montana. You get yourself that upslope enhancement, and that's why we had up to over 30 centimeters of snowfall in Calgary. That also caused quite a bit of problems on Tuesday morning, especially for that Tuesday morning commute. We picked up around 10 centimeters of snow here and around 19 to 20 plus centimeters in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge. So pretty good snowfall, especially after the most of the snow has melted through the last couple of weeks with Chinook conditions there. So yeah, and then the cold Arctic air mass slid in from the north, and we saw those temperatures plummet. And oh man, we are at minus, well, not too bad, about mid minus 20s, wind chills at least in the minus 30s to feeling like minus 40 in many locations across Alberta and Saskatchewan at this hour. As of February 23rd, all of Alberta, all of Saskatchewan is currently under the extreme cold warning for wind chills once again tonight to reach minus 40.
And when I saw the list of all on Environment Canada of all the places in Saskatchewan under extreme cold, my first thought was, I didn't know Saskatchewan had so many places.
Oh yeah. It's a popular province. There's more than just like grass.
When you look at Manitoba's, number of regions it has for forecasts, right? It's like extreme cold for these 15 places. And then here's Saskatchewan, a province with like half the population. It's like,
yeah,
it's like you could be reading through that for a while. And of course, we're expecting, it's weather's so bad, you'll try every religion to make it stop. That's what's going on right now.
I found it out next month. Siberia is going to gradually warm up next month. Once again, in the month of April, Siberia probably go somewhat above freezing. In Siberia, go to Yakutsk and Oymyakon in Norilsk, Russia. They'll be starting to warm up next month.
So what exactly is BC looking at this weekend? And when does the cold weather stop for the prairies?
Well, the good news is we do have a pretty powerful system moving on the coast sections of BC. So BC is going to take it on the chin while we celebrate on this side of the Rocky Mountains. And that's usually how it happens here. You get a significant amount of snow through British Columbia, and potential's there for some significant rainfall for parts of the BC coast, but I would not rule out some of that starting off with some snow here, as I noticed parts of Vancouver Island or areas around Nanaimo just got buried in snow just a couple of days ago. So they're digging out from that significant snowfall as well. At least up to a foot of snow has fallen there. So we're going to be watching that very closely as we go through the weekend. Meanwhile, as we get that low pressure system crosses the Rockies, it's going to allow for temperatures to rebound nicely into the prairies. We'll see our temperatures right around that freezing mark, which will be quite nice. And even Manitoba by next week, Monday there, it's going to finally warm up as well for fairly briefly before cooling right back down again. So there's a little bit of a reprieve in the forecast as we go into next week, which I think after the weather the last couple of days, we definitely deserve it again. Hey, yeah. Maybe
yeah.
not.
Did you notice that I'm very Alberta centric today? I got the Vulcan Alberta Curling Club, a lovely curling club.
Oh, yes.
In Vulcan, Alberta, which, as you know, has the Star Trek display that goes on every year. It's got the Starship Enterprise and all that. Can you do that stuff? Look at that. Ooh. Also on here, it says Bluegrass is Dead, the Give 'em Hell Boys. And that's one of Edmonton, Alberta's great outlaw country bands who I've played with many times and stayed at Quinn's house and poached his bass player to play with us when ours couldn't come. And love the Give 'em Hell Boys. So I'm very Alberta centric right now today. That's for all you Alberta. So yeah, tonight, Prince George has got this Thursday night when we're making this is minus 35 potential wind chill, risk of frostbite. So it's going to look really nice when that starts warming up as the new weather comes in.
That's
so by
happening
Saturday,
too this weekend. Risk of frostbite for St. Anthony, Newfoundland. There's an extreme cold warning in Labrador, like Goose Bay, all the way up to northern Labrador. Risk of frostbite up in Labrador.
Yeah, and through northern Quebec and northern Ontario as well. So it's really gripped the entire northern continent, and it's squeezing down in the States. So by Saturday, the Prince George, high of -6. It's going to seem so nice. Snow, periods of snow. There's a lot of snow coming this weekend. We got special weather statements across BC, and I'm sure there'll all be warnings by the time this show airs. Sunday, snow, high of -3. Yes, low of -11. I like that seasonal. That's great. -3 on Monday. Cloudy with 30% chance of flurries, low -18. That's a little bit harsh, but Tuesday again, 30% chance of flurries, high of -5, cloudy periods, low of -15. Prince George, we're coming out of it slowly, but this has been a nasty reminder that we're not technically in out of meteorological winter yet. Okay.
Tuesday, February 28th is the last day of meteorological winter in regular years. February 29th is the last day of meteorological winter in leap years.
That's right. So the groundhog came out of the hole earlier this month and saw that it's going to be a leap year and said there's going to be one extra day of winter this year. And we're like, right on, groundhog.
Not this year, but next year.
Next year, the groundhog will see that, of course.
Well, the groundhog's stupid anyway. We figured that one out.
That's
It
true.
was a very blunt and bold statement. It was a very bold statement to say that our national weather forecasting animal is stupid. But I agree. Groundhogs are stupid.
They are stupid. And now the human of the week around here is Imogen Cookie Bailey. Imogen Cookie Bailey, you're the human of the week. You're on the cover of fashion magazines out of friggin' Paris, right? So it's like anything that's cool that we're doing is kind of like, that's a little bit of a, hey boys. And the Brandon's like, yeah, I'm on a new radio station this week. It's like, I'm on Paris fashion cover. Take that. I mean, that's kind of
an achievement. That's cute. Here's mine. Paris Fashion Magazine.
That means that
2-page interview and like 20 pages of whatever I'm doing in there. Yeah, front cover, also back cover, man. I got both cover spots. Like they just plastered me all over this thing. Yeah, front cover, back cover, inside cover. Seriously, there's like, I don't like looking at myself that much. It's weird. So
well, the rest of the world seems to.
Someone in Paris does, a publisher in Paris, and the other one that I did last month was based on New York. So I got my face all over the cover of that one as well. So neat, fun. I like to think it's a little bit ironic, but I'm wearing my KFC tracksuit just because it's. There are a lot of ideas about what a cover model does and doesn't eat, and I'm very happy to represent KFC. I'm not afraid of a bucket of chicken. Just saying.
Yeah, well, it's a fashion statement in itself, right? So you don't.
It is. It's also, I'm getting unbearably, uncomfortably warm. So I've been wearing this all day, and now it's finally warming up in here. So I'm just switching over to something a lot lighter.
The truth is, it's freezing in my house, and I got the wood stove open and cranked. And but I wanted to wear my Alberta stuff, and I wanted to represent the Vulcan Alberta Curling Club. I used to really like curling back when I drank.
I thought you were just more into Vulcans than curling. So that one.
No, now I'm more into Vulcans. Now that I'm sober, the logic of the Vulcan is definitely what I'm into. Your talents are good. So you're also human of the week for another reason around here. Imogen, talk to us about how you are spreading the joy and making us all super famous around here, and how we're all going to be big stars because of Imogen's new achievement. We're going to be on TV, everybody. I'm so excited. No.
Woo! Super famous. I love it.
No, it's good. It's a really good thing.
Yeah. So that's kind of a fun one. Tomorrow I'm going to be going into Shaw Cable to sign a little bit of paperwork that I got a little lost on when I was trying to do it online. So I'm going to go over some details with one of the guys at Shaw, and we're going to have a spot on Shaw Spotlight. So for the Victoria region, West Coast, whatever, I'm not sure how they break down their regions, but for this region, we're going to be getting some airtime on Shaw Spotlight. So that's what we're doing. We're moving into a TV component, as well as our radio stations and whatever your local newspaper, website, daily thing is. So yeah, so we're covering more media. And I've got a couple other TV stations in the crosshairs that I'm going to be going after once we get more of a foothold on Shaw. So ideally within this year, we will be branching onto 3 different TV channels. At the moment, we're hitting Shaw. So paperwork is signed tomorrow. It's not 100% at the moment, but signing off tomorrow. So There we go. That's
And
what we're
there's the
doing.
potential that other Shaw stations will pick it up across the country, especially if we have people in different regions. Like tonight, we got Frankie Cochran in Miramichi. We got Imogen in Victoria. We got Frankie in Nova Scotia. We got Brandon in Alberta. We got Hilding here in Northern BC. You know, there's a lot of regions right there that, and as we grow our cast of cometeorologists, that we can really possibly branch that out, right? So that's just
definitely.
We're going to be like the Canada show, I think, for this someday, because no one's ever made a show about comedy and meteorology. No one's ever made a show about how much the weather sucks.
You know, I feel like this is like Steve Martin territory. I feel like he would have done a character that kind of fits this. I'm not sure why I'm thinking Steve Martin. I just really like that dude. And it's kind of in the vein of characters he would have done and kind of his forte. So has anyone contacted Steve Martin?
I'd love to have him on the show because he's one of my favorite humans on earth. Like, I'm a huge fan of his music. I'm a huge fan of he's a genius on all regards, you know. And he would sit here in my position and he'd say something like, I thought that people were mostly bad drivers, but then I realized that I was wrong, that most people are just bad at everything.
Yeah, he's solid. He is so solid.
Brutally honest.
I wrote that joke. Come on. You mean I'm sorry? He would say that joke, wouldn't he?
What about that other guy, Trevor Garner, aka Trevor Safier? He's getting a lot of rain tomorrow and very cold temperatures.
Is he now? Well, who have we not talked to yet? So we got all the good news from Imogen on the cover, deservedly so.
2 covers.
Getting us on some TV, deservedly so. We haven't talked to Frankie Corcoran, who he's our friend over in Miramichi, New Brunswick. We've had him on a few times. He runs a podcast out there. And right now, he's working on a play that he wrote, a murder mystery called Death Costs Dearly. How's the weather in Miramichi, New Brunswick, Frankie Corcoran?
Weather in Miramichi, New Brunswick. Currently, we are actually getting a little bit of snow tomorrow. Nothing crazy. It's funny, the last few Fridays, we've had about like 30 centimeters, which is funny. It always lands on a Friday. Excuse me, pardon my voice. The weather's catching up to me, and it's giving me a sickness, but the show must go on. But so we're getting a little bit tonight. It's not a crazy amount. I'd say probably about like 2 to 4 centimeters. But it's so funny. People see 1 centimeter on the floor, on the ground, and they're like, oh my God, it's a big storm. But in reality, it's like, oh, come on, it could be a lot worse. Like, you guys know, there's so many places around here that have it a lot worse than we do here. So
we had 2 feet fall last weekend.
Hurricane warning, earthquake warning, hurricane warning, earthquake warning. Here comes the story of the hurricane.
It's like the Mozambique tropical cyclone Freddy that brought flood, mudslides, landslides, caused a lot of damage, just bring down power lines, knock out power, destroying buildings, snap telephone poles, snap tree branches that bring down power lines, causing mudslides, landslides, big waves crash on beaches, shores, and Mozambique is going to bring so much wind and rain there.
That's the worst place.
Yeah, so people got it so much worse, you know?
Worst weather in the world, I guess, say, Frankie?
Mozambique tropical cyclone Freddy.
So, Frankie Corcoran, you've written a murder mystery, and you're working on the theatrical production, and so you're busy a lot. Sorry, I had to put my hoodie back on. You're busy a lot making this play. It's a murder mystery. So tell us about it. Who did it?
Well, as much as I'd love to say, people watching it right now who are from my area, we're actually doing a little contest within during the production. We're gonna have a chance to win a gift card if you guess the murderer correctly. So if I say it on here, there might be someone out there who might be, oh, there's the perfect opportunity. I win the gift card. So
I'm gonna guess the murderer is Frankie Corcoran.
Ooh, could be. I'm behind the scenes, so I mean, like, maybe I very well could have pulled some strings and done something.
Oh, you're not acting, you're just directing. Okay, I see.
You could have
writing, directing.
If you're acting in it, I'd ask you to recite a line, or at least murder someone for us.
Oh, I could.
I would be in favor of
I can make that happen.
If you would like to
You're
do
in favor of that?
Yes, if you'd like to demonstrate a murder on the air, then this would really promote your murder mystery.
Oh, okay,
It's just
perfect. So for all of you
acting.
guys,
Yes.
it's just acting.
acting.
Don't worry, and then they're not moving. I got
It's not
nobody
your
here.
normal
Everyone in the house
murder.
is sleeping.
It's not a normal murder. It's an art murder. It's
You're like, you want to
copyrighted.
see how it's done? Come see Death Cost Dearly, March 31st to April 1st in Miramichi, New
This
Brunswick.
murder is copyrighted. You can't go to jail.
This is
for it.
copyright, exactly.
You can't send me to jail for this. I got this murder copyrighted.
It's murder. It's conceptual murder. It's the concept of murder as opposed to actual murder.
Yes, exactly. There's a very distinct difference.
You know, it's like the artist Peter up north there who he got his whole Van Campen and he got his whole property, intellectual property rights to his property as an art installation, and then the oil and gas people could no longer come on his property. Isn't that right, Hilding?
Yeah, they were going to put a pipeline through his property, and they were going to put a big flare stack up, and it was going to pollute the whole area. So he had his whole farm made into a work of art, and then he had it registered and copyrighted with the government. And they said that the pipeline had to go elsewhere. They had to put it at a different place. They couldn't run it through that piece of property.
That's brilliant.
And that's what my song "No More Trouble in the Peace" is about. Even though in my version, Carl Mattson and I at the Sunset Farm or the Sweetwater Farm, but it's actually what someone actually did.
Yeah,
was they turned their farm into an art. So that's what you can do with your murder: is before you kill someone, get it copyrighted. Then when you film it, it's an art murder.
Yes, they're and I'm going to credit you guys for that too. I will give you guys credit. Trust me, credit where credit is due.
I bet you there's some big money in art murder.
There is actually. Now I have to start thinking of some ideas. You know, I might try and incorporate you guys in some sort of murder mystery. Who was the killer? Was it Joey only? Was it Frankie McDonald? Yeah, there, man.
Just gonna jump on that one. I'm gonna call dibs.
Yes, there we go. I didn't even come up with the idea yet, and I know now who the killer is.
No. Although to be fair, that's going to be an obvious one. No one's if Frankie is just no one would buy it. It's too implausible. No one would see Frankie as a murderer. It wouldn't work. People would be upset and outraged and heartbroken at the concept. So that's a no-go.
It's not Frankie.
Brandon,
well, this is the thing with murder mysteries.
To be the murderer.
Yeah,
so the whole time, Imogen's going to be so suspicious that you're like, it's got to be her.
And that's what I love about murder mysteries, though, too. Like it pulls you in so many different directions. Let's say, okay, it's so obvious because also one thing too, I'm also emphasizing to my cast. I'm like, guys, anything you can do to steer the audience in a certain direction, whether it's you rub your neck a certain way, if you, I don't know, like rub anything, the audience will be paying so close attention that they'll say, oh, he did that. He had to have done it. So I said, anything you can do to steer the audience in any direction, go for it. And that's what I love about murder mysteries is that it really has you on glued. Your eyes are glued to the screen or stage.
Or McMurdo Station or some scientist in Emerson Scott Sopo Station in Antarctica could be in it.
Yes, there we go. That's an idea.
On the next CoMurderOlogical report.
Yeah.
Yes,
there we go.
To be fair, if we're gonna go in more of a Louis Buñuel Chien Andalou kind of direction, then I would buy Brandon as a killer. But that's, you got to go in that real 20s surrealist movement, surrealist cinema kind of direction. It's got to be really out there. Absolutely, that's the only context in which Brandon's believable. Because
if Imogen is cast as a maid, then it'd be like, yep, she was definitely the cook. Because in murder mysteries, it's always the maid, no matter what it is. People always say that.
I think she'll kill you just for suggesting that.
I never said I was a good maid. Come on.
It's either a maid or what's the always butler? Obvious suspect. Butler, yeah, maid, butler. Maid, butler, there's something else.
The biggest cliche and you can't remember it. What kind of a murder mystery writer are you if you can't remember the number one cliche of your genre, of your format?
Well, there's one boy. We got this cowboy who's up north, and his truck broke down this week, and he was like wandering through drifts of snow named Hilding, right? He's on the show. He's the quiet one. No one suspects that the quiet one's the killer. Hilding Donaldson, are you the killer?
He could be. Dude's got a farm.
Killer of
you hear that nervous laughter? He's definitely the killer.
Well, you got pigs there?
Well, you remember we were talking 2 weeks ago about the what was it? The groundhog that I murdered with my car. So
Yeah, you
Like,
were
are you something
way
from
too
Deadwood or
cheerful about
what?
that. You're far too comfortable with groundhog murder. That it's a warning sign, man. It's a red flag.
Well, I got a deer head, a moose head, bone concoctions, a bear head. I mean,
I do
I'm
have a
living
deer head here.
in a
yeah.
realm of murder on all sides of me. So, I mean,
Very true. You're in a house of death. Hilding, on the
In
other
fact,
hand, has none of
I've
these
often-
things.
joke that my place is the murder mansion because it's so bizarre looking. Hilding Donaldson, can you tell us? We'll get back to who killed who soon enough. But Hilding Donaldson, hey, anyone notice that Pete's not here this week?
Yes, I did notice that. Thank you.
Pete's
Dun,
been
dun,
missing.
dun.
Who did that?
Nowhere to be seen.
More on the murder mystery soon. Hilding Donaldson. So you literally almost got stranded.
You can see here how our blizzard last night just picked up 10 centimeters of fresh snow and just totally filled up the roadway.
I don't, in blizzard-like conditions.
yeah.
We're gonna
Well,
get to
what
your house.
happened on Monday morning, I woke up and it was snowing, and I thought, oh, we're going to get some snow. Good. Well, till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we only had like 10 centimeters. And I'm like, we usually get like 10 centimeters an hour when we get a heavy snow. Like, this isn't a heavy snow, right? And then it cleared off and it was nice in the afternoon. Suddenly I thought about it. Hey, I got to go feed the neighbor's dog. I get up and it's all of a sudden the house is dark and it's 5 o'clock and I know doesn't get dark till 6 now. So I wondered what's going on. I stepped out the door and I was just about blown off the step. Like there was this swirling wind out there and it was just picking up this fresh snow and blowing it all over the place. I hopped in my truck and I boogied over to the neighbors and I got halfway in the neighbor's driveway and there was so much blowing snow. I literally could not see anything. And I drove right off the driveway into a great big hole. Got my
How
truck.
did you know you were in a hole if you couldn't see anything?
Well, it was a hole. It was under the snow too. But there was no landmarks. I couldn't see the driveway. I drove off the driveway like into the ditch, into this big hole in the ditch. Eh?
Common way that people get killed in Canada. You know, sometimes hundreds of feet from their house when the temperature is minus 20. And it's blowing so hard you can't see what's what. I mean, I'm not making this up. This is people dying.
I got out of the truck and I walked, and I had half a kilometer to walk home. I walked part of the way, and the snow was blowing so crazy. I nearly went walking off out into a field, because I couldn't see where I was going. I'm glad I got home. When I got home, I just realized I'm not going back out there in the snow, even with the tractor, to go pull my truck out. I'm just leaving it. And the next day, then it was steady down. Then it went down to minus 12, and there was a steady north wind. And I went out, and the whole driveway was 4 foot deep with snow. Fence post to fence post, the driveway was full. And I had to spend all day with the tractor shoveling it out.
Yes, this tractor's running great today, and I've got no reason to stay. I think I'll head on down to Arizona, maybe even on to Vegas. Anywhere that is more comfortable than this here highway can take us.
We had just a crazy amount of snow here this weekend, that just passed. And I think we're going to get another 30 centimeters in Wells. And we just sort of had a few days down of avalanche conditions. But driving through Devil's Canyon tonight, I could see lots of snowballs had rolled down, and there was parts of the side of the slope of the canyon that looked like the snow looked like it had kind of cracks in it and stuff. And I'm pretty sure when we get the next snowfall, there's going to be a slide here at Devil's Canyon. You reported that you haven't said a dang word about the weather.
Yeah, no, we've actually had some uncharacteristic winterness here. We got a dusting of snow, like a half inch last night. It was gone this morning. By 7 a.m, it was gone. But if you happen to be cruising around in a retirement city with a few hippies with no shoes walking around, you would have seen a little dusting of snow that actually stuck. It was fascinating. people are looking out their windows, and social media was lighting up with people messaging each other saying, "Holy man, look at that!"
I was just going to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the complaining?
Well, around here, it's a very whiny demographic. So it was, well, to be fair, everyone was inside for the night. It was after 4 p.m, so no one was going out anymore. So it was more fascination than whining. So that was kind of wild. We'd gotten warnings about it, but we get them all the time. It rarely goes through. So we got a dusting. This week, we're actually looking at a high of 0 to 1 degree with a low of -3 all week.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Clouds, a little bit of rain, back to the usual. But we got dusted with snow. It was awesome.
Man, we've had just an insane amount. I don't know if you saw my YouTube videos this week of where I'm on top of the tomato house here in Wells, on top of my own building, and literally like this, just cutting off like humongous chunks of snow or pieces and just sending it down the roof. Like,
what is the tomato house?
The tomato house is well, it's not actually a tomato.
Why not?
It's a wooden building that's painted to look like a tomato, and everyone in Wells refers to it as a tomato house.
And who's coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024?
Hey everybody, I'm going to make an announcement. Total solar eclipse is headed for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. This is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. You're coming down to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024, just to see the total solar eclipse. This is going to be a great, big, huge, giant deal. And all you guys and everyone in the whole world has to come to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Friday, April 5th, 2024, because total solar eclipse is taking place in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. And everyone you guys in the whole world has to come to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Friday, April 5th, 2024. And total solar eclipse is heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. You're coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia just to see total solar eclipse. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. This is a great, big, huge, giant deal. This is a major, major event in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. Total solar eclipse is headed for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. All you guys are coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Friday, April 5th, 2024. Because it's total solar eclipse headed for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Best luck to you, I'm Frank Down.
Who else is going to be there? Gary and Dino Show, Jason Marshall, We Don't Have Cookies, Roger Wildchild Show, Trey Capel, King Kynes and Clump, Bass Guy Show, Robin Slim Show, Reckless Airways Radio, all those guys, and Compound Media too.
We're just over 13 months away from all the coolest podcasts ever assembled going to watch the eclipse together in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And I think we should go to Cape Breton Highlands.
Who else is coming down? Donna Mantis Podcast, Shirley Yeager is coming down. Who else is coming down? Compound Media from New York City is coming down. And who else is coming down? Chris Chittick from the El Nino Storm Hunters Podcast. Who else is coming down? Jason Marshall and all those guys.
Chris Chittick's coming?
You let him know.
Did he say he's coming, or did you tell him he's coming? Either way, that means he's coming.
You have to tell him.
Okay, you tell him, Frankie, because when you tell people, they come. Yeah. You know, what's a storm chaser going to do? Get him, like, it's April. It's not like there's any big story to be chasing at that time. He might as well come.
I told Aaron J. Jack he's coming back in 2024.
That's great. Let's do it.
Back on Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Aaron J. Jack, the storm chaser, met me at the Mayflower Mall just before Hurricane Fiona hit Sydney, Nova Scotia.
We are going to make the best episodes of the CoMurderOlogical Report ever. Live at the eclipse in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Compound Media is going to be there.
If I'm going to go blind, I might as well do it seeing Frankie.
Yeah, go blind with Frankie. Or do whatever your normal Monday routine is, which is better.
Where else is coming down? Gary and Dino.
For all we know, Jesus himself is coming out of the eclipse.
Who else is coming?
Frankie,
Roger,
my son.
Show. Roger Gardner, a.k.a. Roger Wildchild Show. Trey Campbell, all those guys are coming down.
Yeah, Trey Campbell from Houston, Texas is going to be there. Like, we can't tell everybody, because you know what's going to happen is then all the people in radio and TV land are going to be like, we want to be there too. And then they'll get all the hotel rooms and we'll have to stay on Frankie's couches.
No, you guys will stay at the Holiday Inn. Gary and Dino stay at the Holiday Inn. Roger Wildchild, Jason Marshall, all those guys. But Bass Guys also coming down in 2024.
Frankie, do you have bunk beds? Is that an option? Like, do you have bunk beds?
Yeah.
No.
Like, you're
Aw.
staying at the hotel. All you guys
You're
are staying at the hotel. A lot of those guys.
Can you
It's
get
your free
bunk beds?
breakfast at the Holiday Inn.
You have a whole year to get a bunk
Touche.
bed.
Brandon's onto something. Brandon knows what's up. Okay, now, Frankie, when's the last time you built a couch fort? Because I'm thinking that building a fort could be a great way to camp out at your place.
Oh yeah.
Couch fort.
Yeah. What about Woken the Holiday Inn hotel?
But we can't do couch forts
Point
at the Holiday
taken.
Inn. We get kicked
That's
out.
true.
No, you build a
No,
bed
you just
fort
stay at the
at the
Holiday Inn.
Holiday
That is
Inn.
all. You just stay at the Holiday Inn. That is all.
That is all.
Nowhere
Frankie
else.
does not approve of couch surfers. Holiday Inn or nothing. You
I
view
don't
the
know why.
clips, you
It's
stay at
so
the Holiday
funny
Inn.
to me.
Frankie, is the Holiday Inn paying you for this? Is this a
And
paid
what about-
sponsorship we're hearing?
What about Compound Media of New York City? They're coming down, like in Hot Water Show with Gino Bisconte. He's coming down too.
Well, he better not be allowed to stay at your couch.
Yeah, I'd fight him. I'd fight that dude for couch space, Frankie.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Podcast fight will be on, and we are the murder show this week. Don't
Yeah,
mess with us.
That's right.
that's right. It's a death match, podcast death match, and the prize is Frankie's couch.
That's right.
Please take care.
Oh. Murder on Frankie's couch. That's the next show
Yep.
I'm gonna do.
You should write that, Corcoran.
I'm on it right now. I'm jotting ideas down as we do this. I just get hit with a new idea.
Well, no, like this could be-
only if you guys come down. You guys come down and act it out.
But I don't know
Yes.
about that.
Down as well.
But I think that's a totally
Act it
legitimate
out. I live
thing
this.
to do. Is to make a murder mystery based on all the podcasts coming to one town together to meet, and then
Yeah.
a murder happens.
And then who did it? Yes, I love that. I love that idea.
And Monica Boyle is also coming down as well.
I'm gonna say Tater did it. Tater did it. He's always cooking meat. Where's he getting all that meat from?
Cannibalism, murder. I don't know.
Watch those Gary
His
and
grocery
Dino
stores
guys.
just
They're
have some
tough.
really great sales. His
Man,
local thrifties or whatever store he's got there, Save on Foods, Slave on. They've got great deals. That's why I will say nothing about the inside knowledge I have of his cannibalism and murder, and I will divert attention to the local grocery store, Country Grocer. That's
I
his
got
jam.
Frankie laughing so hard he's whimpering.
The comedian Aaron Berger's coming down in 2024 for Total Soul Eclipse too.
Awesome. See,
We'll call the murder mystery Murder Eclipse.
yes.
Nice.
There we go. Thank you for the idea, guys. I appreciate it.
So when Frankie and I were on Kins and Klomp earlier, there was a little, I'd mentioned that Frankie's got a really wild side. He's got a very colorful side that most people don't see. And we just saw a little peek of it. We just saw a little bit of insight into what it is that actually makes Frankie giggle. He is a very colorful person. And Frankie's online persona, the outward facing part of him that everyone sees is very weather focused. He's very unique in his delivery, his scattershot weather around the world. But he is a very colorful and complex person who's got he's got a really weird side. He is a very
It's
cool
taken me
person.
2 years to
Teens
get
and
him
Clubs
to
is from
laugh.
Timmins. Teens and
Took me
Clubs
like 10 minutes, man. Frankie
Pardon me,
giggled on
Frankie?
that first show we did together.
Yeah.
They live in Timmins.
Who lives in
Yes.
Timmins? Kins and
Teens and
Klomp?
Clubs podcast.
A lot of people.
Timmins is tough country. Are they tough guys?
Yeah, they are. Have you met those guys?
No.
Okay, so amongst the podcast deathmatch lineup here, G&D, I do not want to go head to head with, but Kins and Klomp, you know what? I think they give us a serious run for their money. So
Well, maybe it's what we Canadian shows have to do is team up together because Gary and Dino's show is like 50 people. It's like,
And
so it's not
Jay,
only do you have to
also-
take on some of the
You're a
toughest
gang.
people, but there's
And another
There's a
American
huge gang of
podcast
them.
is Don
Yeah.
America's podcast, Gary and Dino Show, Jason Russell, We Don't Have Cookies, Man on Trade, and Roger the Wild Child Show, and Compound Media, Dozen Americans.
And Gary and Dino, they sit around Las Vegas and all their guys, all they do is watch fighting and bet
Yeah.
on it.
yeah.
Those are some pretty tough guys, right? So it's not just that they have some of the toughest guys, but there's a lot of them. So I think that we need to almost, make some alliances with other Canadian podcasts that might help us defeat Gary and Dino.
So in this fantasy football lineup of like podcast MMA deathmatch thing that we got going on, we need to start thinking of who's going to be recruited to join our team so that when we go into this fantasy deathmatch, we've got a standing chance. Because as it is, I got to be honest, we're not doing so good. So
we're not doing so good. Is like not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular.
Trevor's Happy Hour, that's another podcast.
We can take them.
So maybe
Okay, is
we
Trevor
have
like
to
12?
start
Is that
betting
what
on
you're
what
talking
the weather's going to do.
No, Trevor's not 12. He's the drunk guy.
I don't know this one. Which drunk guy?
You're lucky. He's pretty funny. But he's very right wing.
What about the other guy
Drunk
called
guy.
Sam Donkin, Don Mantis podcast? He's another guy in the States.
Are they coming?
Yeah.
Whoa, what was that?
Truck. River it up.
See, I was hoping it was like a skidoo floating by, or like an ATV, a winterized ATV. Just
Are they
whipping
racing?
by. Snowmobile. That's the word I'm looking for. Snowmobile. The thing that every other part of Canada
On the
has a lot
Autobahn,
of, but not here.
truck driving 1 billion miles per hour on the Autobahn in Germany. Big
Oh,
truck
yes,
driving
man.
1 trillion miles per hour.
Oof.
I know it's legal to drive 1 billion miles per hour, but you can't actually do it because of the constraints of physics, Frankie.
Don't ruin it. Come on, Joey. Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Like I'm in the process of getting my car fixed because right now my car is like only running on 2 cylinders, which is not good. But go-kart, it's a 4-cylinder turbo, right? And
Well, at least it's only a 4-cylinder car.
well. So the thing is, it's an Abarth, which is actually it's a tiny little Italian race car that I drive. So, I've had that thing from a dead stop at an intersection. I hit 80 by the time I cleared the other side of the intersection. It is like driving a rocket. So I'm just going to put it out there that the idea of driving 1 billion miles an hour, I'm in favor of. I drive a race car, and I'm happy to test the speed limits.
Another podcast is Anthony Rogers Show. That's another one. Uncle Rico Show. They're from the States, too.
Awesome.
Frankie, what would happen if someone on the Autobahn was driving 299,792,458 meters per second?
That's the speed of light.
That is the speed of light.
And can you travel through time at that speed?
See, everyone else was Googling that. Frankie's just standing there in the street and he's like, speed of light.
What happens if that happened on the Autobahn in Germany?
And you travel at the speed of light, man. You travel through time. You're going through time at that point. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you're going
That means
to another time in Germany.
you could go from Germany to Germany in less than 10
milliseconds, parsecs.
In less than negative 10 hours.
Exactly, right? You go from one side of Germany to the other immediately. That's basically teleportation. That's what that is. That's how it works. So it takes 4 minutes for the light from the sun to reach us, little peons on Earth. So given that it's 4 minutes for that, the distance from one side of Germany to the other, the distance from one side of Germany to the other is a whole lot of nothing comparatively. So you'd basically be at that speed instantaneously moved from one side to the other.
How fast people drive on the Autobahn in Germany, not like the Coquillala Highway.
Oh, very different.
If you notice, if you look at your speedometer in the car, it doesn't go up to 300,000 kilometers per second. And that's because you can't actually go the speed of light.
Don't ruin it, Joey. Come on.
You get close to it. So I think if you were going 300,000 kilometers per second on the Autobahn, you would be still breaking the laws of physics.
Okay, laws of physics are meant to be broken.
Along with arms and legs and hearts, I know.
Well, yeah. But if you're going that fast, then, it happens so fast, you don't feel it. Just all of a sudden your limbs are lying on the ground behind y'all. Nice and easy. It's a clean break.
We've already gone through a whole show. It's been so fun. And who killed Pete? We still don't know who the murder mystery has not been solved. You're listening to the CoMurderOlogical Report, your show, Comedy Plus Meteorology, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada on C for 88.7 FM in Prince George, and CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, and CFBX Kamloops. Soon on Shaw Cable Television. There's Imogen.
Both my
on the cover
covers,
of two
man.
magazines.
Yeah, both
Do
my
it.
covers. New York, Paris. That's what I did.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the cover of the Quesnel Observer. So that's, big news. Imogen's on the cover of Paris Fashion Magazine. All
I
your
celebrated.
achievements are nothing compared to that.
And I celebrated that by eating a whole pizza to myself and wearing my KFC tracksuit.
That's totally what I would do. So this show is co-sponsored, I guess you could say, by Saddle Mountain Garlic Farms and Venerate Supplements. Frankie McDonald, how does everyone find you on the world of the internet?
My Twitter's at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 1984. My TikTok is FrankDown1984. My Clapper is FrankDown1984. My Twitch is FrankDown1984. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my Snapchat is Frankie MECDON. And my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best out there. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Community Roster Weather Report. We're joining on every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Atlantic time.
Now that the show is over, Frankie McDonald, who's the killer? Which one of us is it?
None of us.
None of us.
That's a plot twist.
Did not see that coming. How?
That is it.
We have a body
'Cause
on
it's
the
Frankie.
floor and no one did.
Pete's missing, Frankie. Who killed him?
Yeah.
Mystery man.
Mystery man. Was it the one-armed man? Could it be a one-armed man? Please tell us that's who it was.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
That's our show for this week, I guess. I'm Joey Only. You can find this show on when we record it. We do it live every week on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I just got to 1,500 subscribers this week, so I'm really happy about that. It's really great. I'm trying to grow the channel into something totally awesome that people want to watch. And to do that, I need to be a different person. So help me fund that. Okay.
A different
That's
person.
Just got to say the wrong things. It's funny.
You say whatever you want.
And soon will be for TV. The plastic surgery is booked. I'll get my teeth fixed. And I'll even get a haircut, I'm sure. And Imogen.in, you can find her online. And thanks to Imogen for all the work she's been doing for the show. So we'll give a shout out to her and her company, Venerate Supplements. And I'm going to be, once I have a little bit more, I need some supplements actually, because
Yes,
so this is
you
going to
do.
happen. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, if you go to the website, anything that you order, use the code BBKF, and that will get you 40% off of whatever you're getting.
VenerateSups.ca. There you go.
Yep.
Use that code. And I'll probably ask you for that again soon. Now that someone bought my computer for me, I can probably imagine, hey, because I want that. I love that milkshake powder. Anyways, Tiger season's coming and I'm pumped. I think that's the show for this week. Joey Only, Brandon Howe, Frankie McDonald, Imogen, Frankie Corcoran, Hilding Donaldson, and who knows who we'll have next week. I know in the coming weeks, we're going to have some Storm Chasers on from, because the Chaser Con's coming, and Brandon Howe's going to have some announcements about Chaser Con, and he's going to have some chasers come on we're going to have the Chaser Con CoMurderOlogical report. This has been the CoMurderOlogical report tonight, and the answer actually was me. I killed him. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good one, guys.
Man, this was murder heavy tonight. Yowza. I approve.
And I got something else to say.
My stomach is upset. I can't get up anymore.